It started with a message, a simple notification that lit up the screen late at night. It wasn't anything extraordinary, just a casual hi from a stranger whose profile seemed charming in an effortless, curated way. There was a clean smile in the picture, a casual confidence that made it feel safe to respond. The conversation unfolded like it had been waiting to happen, smooth and effortless, with the right balance of curiosity and humor. By the second day, it felt like there was something there, something more than just two people talking through screens. The messages became longer, more personal. Each morning began with a greeting from them. Each night ended with a goodnight text. It was addictive in a way, to have someone always waiting on the other end, someone who seemed to understand, who seemed to listen with genuine interest. They asked about favorite books, worst fears, secret dreams, and answered every question in return with an openness that made it easy to trust. There was no rush, no obvious red flags, just a gradual weaving together of two lives through late-night calls and shared laughter. When they suggested meeting in person, it felt natural. The heart raced with anticipation and a little fear. They claimed to live far away, in a different city, but promised they were planning to travel soon. It was around then that the requests began, small at first, nothing alarming. Their car had broken down, they said, and they couldn't afford the repairs before their trip. It was presented as a temporary setback, one they were embarrassed to even mention. The hesitation was real, but so was the pull to help someone who had become a fixture in daily life. After the first favor came another. A job payment had been delayed, they explained. They were short on rent, just for this month. The story was convincing, threaded with just enough vulnerability to make saying no feel cruel. Each time money was sent, it was with the comforting thought that this was an investment in something real, something that was about to blossom into a shared future. And each time, gratitude poured in through the screen, promises, reassurances, talk of the life they would build together when this rough patch passed. Weeks stretched into months. The meetings were always postponed, always for reasons that sounded reasonable enough. A sudden family emergency, a canceled flight, an unexpected work assignment. The heart ached but stayed patient, kept believing because they never disappeared, never stopped calling, never stopped sounding so sure about everything. They still laughed at inside jokes, still spoke about shared plans, still sent pictures. Though, in hindsight, those pictures were always a little too perfect, always just far enough away from being traceable. Then came the day it all unraveled. The phone number stopped working. The profile disappeared. Messages went unanswered. At first, there was panic, a frantic search through social media, through mutual contacts, through anything that might explain the sudden silence. But there was nothing, no trace, no clue, nothing but the echo of conversations that now felt hollow and rehearsed. The realization was slow, painful, humiliating. Each memory replayed with new clarity, every convenient excuse, now a glaring warning sign that had been ignored. It wasn't just the money that hurt, though that was gone too. It was the trust, the hope, the time given so freely to a ghost who had never really been there. The house of cards collapsed all at once, leaving behind a strange mix of anger and grief, as if mourning a person who had never existed in the first place. In the quiet that followed, there were lessons to be learned, walls to rebuild, and a heart to guard a little more carefully. But there was also the lingering ache of betrayal, the haunting sense that the person on the other side of the screen had been an actor all along, saying the right words, playing the right role, just to get what they wanted. And somewhere out there, they were probably doing it again, smiling at another screen, spinning the same web for someone new. The days after the disappearance were the hardest. The mind replayed every conversation on a loop, searching for a clue, a single moment where the mask might have slipped. Nights stretched long and sleepless, haunted by the memory of words that had once felt warm but now burned like lies carved into the skin. Each notification sound sent a jolt of hope through the chest, only to crash into the silence of an empty inbox. Friends didn't understand. They said things like, "You should have known," and "How could you trust someone you'd never met?" But they hadn't been there for the late-night laughter, the promises whispered like secrets, the feeling of finally being seen after years of invisibility. It wasn't just money that had been stolen. It was intimacy, the kind that takes months to build and seconds to destroy. Anger came next. It was sharper than grief, a fire that burned through the guilt and shame. There were moments of daydreaming about finding them, confronting them, demanding answers, demanding everything back. But the rational part of the mind knew they were gone, hidden behind fake names and fake accounts, probably already preying on someone else. And yet, in the quiet hours, the anger softened into something more complicated. There was still a strange, unwelcome longing for the person they had pretended to be, the kind, attentive partner who had remembered every small detail, who had made the world feel a little less lonely. It was a cruel trick to miss someone who had never been real, but the heart didn't care about logic. It kept reaching for what it once had like a phantom limb. Life slowly returned to normal, though it would never be the same. The world felt different now, as if the edges were sharper, as if trust itself had become a dangerous thing. Every new message, every friendly stranger was met with suspicion. Walls were built higher, doors locked tighter. And yet, somewhere deep down, there was a quiet vow forming, not just to never be fooled again, but to never let this wound define the rest of life. There would be scars, yes, but scars were proof of survival, of lessons learned the hardest way possible. The story would not end in despair. One day, the heart would open again, though more carefully this time, wiser and stronger than before. But until then, the memory of the scam lingered like a shadow, a constant reminder that love can be the most beautiful lie of all.